Okay, so we have here another writing task one. And um, let's take a look at the structure first, right? So last session, we reviewed the ideal structure for writing a task one response. And let's see how well you've been able to incorporate those tips into your writing. So we have Dear Mr. Alex, that's the salutation. An opening, we have I'm three paragraphs. I'm assuming this is your background, two function paragraphs, a closing, leave taking, and salutation. So structurally, in terms of the paragraphs, this is really looking good. Now, let's take a closer look at the various sections. So first of all, dear Mr. Alex, is Alex a first name or a last name?
It's first name. It was any name there. And as you go over the request of this writing, it mentioned
Okay. Uh-huh.
your manager asked you.
Right, right. So I think if you're going with a first name, right? If you're referring to someone's first name, then you don't need a title because a title
Uh-huh.
would go with a last name, right? So you could say, Dear Mr. I don't know, I'll go with a famous Alex Ferguson. So, Dear Mr. Ferguson, right? But if you just want to include their first name, you would just say, Dear Alex.
Okay, how about
Okay.
if I use, okay, for instance, dear
Mhm.
Mr. Alex Ferguson, first name,
That's
last
also possible. Yes, yes, that's also definitely
name.
possible.
Okay.
But then remember, the salutation depends on the relationship that you have with that person, right?
Okay.
And so I would say consider whether you're writing a semi-formal or an informal. Now, in the
Okay.
Canadian context, I can write to my boss and say, "Hey, Alex," or "Hi,
Yeah.
Alex," right? That's totally
Yeah.
acceptable.
Yeah.
But if let's say I'm writing to a restaurant manager
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know this person, I just know their name. I've never met them, I've never
Mm-hmm.
talked to them, corresponded with them. So in
Okay.
that case, it's better to say, Dear Mr. Smith,
Okay.
right?
Got you.
Okay.
Fair
Now,
enough.
yeah, and it seems that you have written a semi-formal a letter because you have this goodwill statement, right? So probably it'll be best if you just say, "Dear Alex," right?
Okay.
So, dear Alex, I hope
Okay.
this email finds you well. Now, this matches
With
this,
this.
all right? Okay.
Okay.
Now, I received your email regarding your request to provide backup for the receptionist while she is getting lunch. Well done. You're introducing the subject, and you didn't necessarily use the structure I am writing to, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, Perhaps because your email is being written as a response to
Mm-hmm.
another email. So, in that type of situation, if you want to go with a fixed phrase, you could say, I am writing in response to your email
Mm-hmm.
requesting blah, blah, blah.
Okay, got you.
Right? So, that's a
Yeah.
nice structure. I'm not going to add it here because your sentence looks good to me
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to change it. But I just want to say for future reference, you
Okay.
can start an email like this by saying, I am writing in response to your email regarding, or I'm writing in response to your email requesting something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have one issue with this opening statement. And my issue is with the level of detail that you have included here. Remember, don't give away everything, don't mention everything right off the bat. So you said, I received your email regarding your request, and you mentioned exactly what the request is to provide backup for the receptionist while she is getting lunch.
Okay,
Now,
hold on. Sorry.
yes,
Based
please
on
go
the
ahead.
request of this writing,
Yes,
this first sentence is our background because it was three bullet points that I should
yes.
cover it
Okay.
for okay. So for this reason, I just mentioned okay, it should be background this sentence. Okay, the story totally.
Mm,
And in three different, body paragraph, I go
I see.
over the request that the person
I see.
asked me.
Okay. That is, thank you for sharing your understanding. And it's not wrong, really. But if we want to follow that structure that we talked about before, the background would need to be added to this paragraph. So
Mhm.
hold on a second. If we do decide to mention these details in the background, so how do we write this sentence? Let me give you an example, and then you'll see what I mean. I would have written this like, I'm going to tell you how I would have written this. I would have written something like, I'm writing in response to your request for a change in the receptionist's scheduled, for example, we could say availability, right? So I'm not exactly saying what is happening. I'm saying you made a request regarding making a possible change at the reception desk.
Mm-hmm.
What's changed? Who is leaving? Who's covering for who? You have to read the background to know. At
Mm-hmm.
this level, I'm just telling you what this email is about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I received your email regarding your request for a change in the reception desk work arrangements,
Okay.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then in my next paragraph, I'm going to say, um, as you mentioned, right? The receptionist will be away from their desk for a period, and you asked me to cover for
Mm-hmm.
him or her, right?
You're right.
So you add it there. So the idea is you don't drop the information. You give the information in little bits. And
Mm-hmm.
each time you add some detail to it, right?
Oh.
This is the idea of moving from general to specific,
Mm-hmm.
right? Always, when you're giving information, for this information to be manageable and easy to process,
Mm-hmm.
you start with general and then
Mm-hmm.
you gradually add details to it,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like you could even say that, I am writing in response to your email
Mm-hmm.
requesting my help at the reception desk.
Mm-hmm.
You see, what is it about? It's about your request for me to help at the reception desk.
Exception, yes.
What kind of help? Why do you need this help? You have to read the background to know more.
Yeah.
Okay? So
Right.
don't jump into it in the opening. Okay?
Okay.
Because in reality, I think the reason they want this is because if you give away everything, they might not read the rest of your email as carefully,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
right? Okay.
Okay.
So then you have your background. Please accept my apology in advance for denying your request to work at the reception desk during lunchtime. So in the background, I would shift this down. And then what is bullet point number one? Can you remind me what the first bullet
Yeah,
point
for
is?
sure. The
Mhm.
bullet point number one is apologize. The
Yes.
second one is explain why you don't have time to help out. And the
Uh,
third one is suggest a way to solve the problem.
right. Okay. So if we shift a little bit of the background here, right? What we can do is we can use this as the topic sentence towards the beginning of your paragraph. Now, what would you like to make the changes yourself, or do you want me to like arrange it and show you?
If you can, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, show me, please.
100%. Sure.
Um,
So I'm going to change this first, right? So I received your email requesting my help at the reception desk,
okay.
right? That's what it's about. What is this email about? It's about my help or your request for my help at the reception desk.
You're right.
Now, here, um, you could say something like this. I understand that I don't know, Amy, we'll just come up with a name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and what was the situation? Is unable. Why was she? Does it say in the question why the receptionist
No,
will be away?
yeah, for the lunch.
For lunch, right? So
Yeah.
for lunch period,
Yeah.
Amy's going to be away, and I was asked to. Okay, so I
Yeah.
understand that Amy is unable to attend visitors
Mm-hmm.
during her lunch break, which is why uh, you are seeking a
Yeah.
replacement uh, for the period she is away. Something like this, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
kind of review. I
Okay.
understand that Amy's unable to attend visitors during her lunch break, which is
Mm-hmm.
why you are seeking a replacement for the period she's away. Now you want the topic sentence, right? So please accept my apology in advance for denying your request to work at the reception desk during lunchtime, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or listen, not that there's anything wrong. It's just that because we mentioned this in the previous sentence, the
Mm-hmm.
request, it's a little redundant to repeat it. So,
Okay.
what kind of structures can we use for this? I don't know if you've seen the video. I have one video on my channel where I review structures for making an apology, specific structures for making an apology. I'll send you the link if you like.
Thank you.
But then I'll share one example here with you, right? So, you could say, something like this. You could say, well, your structure is great too. Like, please accept my apology in advance, right? Um, you could say something like this. Uh, Unfortunately, I'm unable to accept or to assist you with this request. Now, you might say, hold on a second, but you didn't apologize. You just said you're unable, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so instead of unfortunately, you could say something like, please accept my apologies for um, rejecting your request, or for please accept my apologies. Or you could just say it like this: as you please accept my apologies as I'm unable to assist you with this request. So it doesn't have to be something very fancy. I think you're
Mm-hmm.
being very overly polite in your case, like, please accept my apology in advance for denying your request to work at the reception desk. And so this part is redundant. We get rid of it. And so this, I think, is a clear indicator that you are fulfilling bullet point number one. And I
Mm-hmm.
like this structure. I know this is not what you want to hear. Well done. This is really good structure. But
Mm-hmm.
due to your request conflicting with other tasks on my plate, I won't be able to cover the receptionist. So are you giving reasons at this point, or is this a continuation or an extension of the apology?
No, it's the reason why I apologize you, why
Okay,
I cannot make a coverage.
right. Let's review the three bullet points one more time. Bullet point number one, what does it say?
Apology.
Okay, so that's
Okay.
number one. What?
Apologize.
Uh-huh.
Second, explain why
Yes.
you don't have time to help out.
Okay, so you see, these two shouldn't overlap because
Right.
in this sentence that I've highlighted, it seems like you're giving a reason. You're saying why. And if you're going to do this in the next paragraph too, then you have a little bit of overlap. So the
Mm-hmm.
question is, what else can I add to my apology, right? So an apology, for it to be real, you want to say, yes, I'm sorry. If it's something bad you've done, you want to say, no, it won't happen again. This isn't
Mm-hmm.
an apology of that kind. Like, you haven't done anything wrong to say it's not going to happen again. But also, you also want to empathize, right? You kind of want to add a little bit of empathy. in
Mm-hmm.
that situation. So maybe something like this. I understand. This is an urgent request on your part, uh, but please, uh, yeah, or you could do like this. I know this is an urgent request on your part, but please understand that I will still do whatever in my power to assist you in this matter. Right? Now, you really didn't need this 100%, but I've added it to kind of show the examiner that
Mm-hmm.
I know how to apologize, right? An apology involves um, expressing regret for something
Mm-hmm.
you've done wrong and also
Okay.
empathizing with the other person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I understand your situation. I know and if there's anything else I can do, I'm willing to extend that to you, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
not the best sentence, but I hope that you get the point,
Yeah,
right?
you're right. Yeah,
Okay. Um Now, next paragraph. The second bullet is explain why, right?
you're right.
Okay, so beautiful topic sentence here. Allow me to explain why I could not complete your request. Okay, question. Why I could not? Could not means like in the past, like I couldn't help you yesterday.
Would not.
Cannot.
Cannot. Okay.
Yes, because the request is now and it's being rejected now, right?
Okay.
Why? So you want to say why I cannot now complete your request. Is there a better verb instead of complete? What's a collocation or request? Do you know like collocations dictionaries? Do you use collocations dictionaries?
Not collocation dictionaries, no.
Not a collocation dictionary. Let me see if I can show you. Let me open a new tab here and let's go with collocations dictionary. Okay, just to show you how a good collocation dictionary can be used. I often use this one. Okay, and so the word I'm looking for is
Request.
request, right? So I'm looking up request. And so this is a wonderful resource because see, it's giving me the adjectives that go with request. So we can say special request, reasonable request, or unreasonable request, a formal request, an official request. But we're not looking for an adjective, we're looking for a verb, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So verb plus request. Let's see. You can make a request. You can put in a request. You can submit a request, right? You can get a request, have, receive, but that's not what we mean. Agree to a request,
Uh-huh.
comply with the request, and
Okay.
grant.
Grant.
So here I like comply with. Allow me to explain why I cannot.
Comply with your request.
So whenever you're unsure, especially when you're practicing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Use a collocations dictionary.
Okay, sure.
And here's another thing that smart people do.
Mm-hmm.
Smart people who are preparing for CELPIP, they know what kind of words they are using very
Very.
frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Like request is being used very frequently, right?
Okay.
And so maybe I should prepare a few adjectives.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should prepare some verbs so that when the situation comes, I can use it. Now, the number of ESL students who take
Mm-hmm.
CELPIP and they know this collocation,
Mm-hmm.
comply with the request, they're very few. A lot of people say, accept your request,
Mm-hmm. You're right.
agree to your request. But
Mm-hmm.
if you use a tool like a collocations dictionary, I cannot grant you your request. I cannot agree to your request. And to be
Mm-hmm.
honest, comply with is a little formal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say the best option is probably agree to. So I cannot,
Agree to your request.
there you go, right? So
Mm-hmm.
today is the deadline to submit the report for the annual performance review. I should complete my report before noon and then send it out to the Human Resources Director by 1 p.m. Very good writing. But question, Human Resources Director,
Mm.
isn't that a job position?
Yes.
So,
Oh, H. Oh, okay, okay,
that,
okay. Oh, okay, okay, okay.
oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then
Dip.
also
Mm-hmm.
there. Okay, by
Mm-hmm.
1 p.m. She
Mm-hmm.
will need this report to use in the leaders meeting at 1:30 p.m. Okay, sounds good. Yes, that's a very good reason. Now, what
Mm-hmm.
about bullet point number three? What was bullet
It's
point number
not
three?
just a way to solve the problem.
Okay. So I would like to recommend a solution to this issue. Again, very nicely done. So I'm very happy with these topic sentences that you're writing. You're doing really good here. Well done. So my colleague Layla would be able to cover for the receptionist while she is on lunch break, right? It's usually lunch break.
Okay.
And then there's no need for the L to be
Yeah.
capitalized, right?
No.
Layla has completed her tasks and she will have spare
The
time.
disper
Time is uncountable, right?
yeah,
Time is
spare time.
uncountable.
You're right.
So she has spare time or some spare time
Mm.
to assist what your request, I think you meant with, right?
Yeah, yeah.
No,
What
that's
I
fine, just a
oh,
typo.
uh,
And answer telephones
telephone and
and
help client.
help clients. What is the verb? Like you've been working long enough. Answer telephones. English speakers, they the way it's expressed in English is it's different.
For answer telephones.
Yeah, like how would you say it informally?
Mm, getting? No. Take phones.
Take phone calls, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you take phone calls and help clients. Now, again, don't get me wrong. Answer the telephone. Of course, yes, you answer the telephone. But
Mm-hmm.
in the more colloquial way, the more common way that it's used in speaking, try to always go with that because the examiner wants to know not just whether you can communicate the message, but how naturally you can state it, right? So
Okay.
bring it closer to the way you would say it in real life. Yes, well done. So bullet point one, bullet point two, bullet point three, all fulfilled. And then we have a closing. Thank you so much for your support and understanding. Please accept my apologies for any inconvenience this may have caused. So because you've already apologized,
Turn
here
it
you might want to add something like,
once
once
again,
again,
please.
please accept my apologies for any inconvenience this may have caused. Sincerely, Sarah Lee. I'm very happy with this. This is much better than the previous example that we read. And I'm very happy with how you've managed to resolve the issue with the topic sentences, with the paragraphing. The only issue that remains is distinguishing the background from the opening paragraph, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what did you learn about the opening and the background today?
Okay, okay. First, again, another point that I learned is that 100% I should go over informal writing format first
Mhm,
because from my mind, just my minds go over some most of the time it's a combination of formal and informal. That is not
mhm,
good. It should be one tone. Informal maybe it's better. It's very close to reality and the tone that we use it on our basic, base daily, wordings that we use it. And
mhm,
another point is that um regarding first body paragraph that I write it, I mean, you mentioned I received your email requesting my help at the reception desk.
mhm,
Okay, when you go over the the request and the I mean writing task, you can see I all the time imagine, okay, when I read it before go over the bullet point, I should bring something. What is this email? And it was the main reason that I go over some more information. But today you
Mhm.
mentioned no, you don't need to add more information.
Yes. Don't bring the background information into the opening, right? Because when you give everything away at the very beginning, there's not much to say in the next paragraph, right? So I would say in the opening should be like a subject line. What is this email about? It's about your request for my help at the reception desk. The fact that Amy can't come and she's on a lunch break and all that, those are background details, right?
Okay. The main point is that because here we have three bullet points.
Yes.
So from my point of view, right now when I see this writing, I can
Hmm.
see, I feel that the second paragraph, it's a
Hmm.
combination of background and first
Yes.
bullet point.
It's always like that. It's always like that. So you
Okay.
see, when
So
you have an opening, then you have a background. It's called a background paragraph because in the first part, we review the situation, we provide some background information, right? We review what the question says. And then in the second part, we add bullet point number one. So bullet point number one always goes into the background paragraph. Bullet point number two is a separate independent paragraph. And bullet point number three is also a separate independent paragraph.
okay, let me I write it here.
Mhm.
So you solve the issue. So bullet point number one and background should be
Mhm.
together.
Yes.
Okay, got you.
All
Very nice.
right. Great. Wonderful. I'm very happy with this. Good work.
Thank you. But it still is not nine.
It's getting there. It's getting there. Little baby steps forward. Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready to take a look at task two?
Yes, please do it.
Okay. All right. I'm going to read the question first very quickly.